Well, welcome back to another edition of the Personal Development Series, a show for young adults. And we have been talking all this time about employment. We talked about the phases of employment. We talked about the application letter. We talked about the CVs. We talked about how you can make your CV effective. We are doing all of this so that when your application goes through the whole rigmarole, it will end up with the desk and they will say, oh, I'd like to meet this guy. I'd like to meet this lady. Let's invite them for an interview. Hopefully, you've gone through all the things. You've been invited for an interview. So now, guess what? You have one foot in the door. You've done very well for your application letter to break through the whole rough seas. You've got your CVs going through. Now, they actually want you for an interview. At this point, all you have to do is to charm and get a job. And when I say charm, I'm talking about ability to express yourself, ability to relax, ability to exude confidence, not arrogance, confidence. How do you exude confidence? It's showing that you know what you're talking about. When you don't know what you're talking about and you're bumbling, clearly that's a no-no. No, this guy doesn't know anything, or this lady doesn't know anything, okay? So the ability to exude confidence comes with your knowledge of whatever you're interviewing for. So please, when you have all these put together, then you have charm. But let's go through a few steps that are very, very important when you're going for the interview. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is research the company, okay? If you're lucky enough and you know where the company is, and you know you're going for an interview at Sapphire, research the company. And you're not looking for a history of the whole company. No, you're looking for their core business. What do they do? What do they do at Multimedia? What do they do at Kolebu Medical Supplies? What do they do at name it? They have a core thing that they do. Research it. It's very, very important that you display knowledge of the company you're going to work with. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to know. The second thing that you have to understand is when you research, make sure you have the information ready at your tips. Don't memorize it, because when you memorize it, you're going to start blabbing and blah, 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 blah. And when you forget one line, everything goes off. Just know the material you have read. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, research the company. The next thing you want to do is rehearse. Believe it or not, you need rehearsal. Call a friend, call some friends, let them sit down and tell them, okay, I've read so and so about the company. Let me rehearse with you what I'll say. You know, rehearsal just makes you relaxed. Rehearsal makes you come across as knowledgeable and you are relaxed. So please make sure that you rehearse it, okay? The second thing that I want to talk about is your looks. Look sharp, as you say in Ghana. Be presentable. Don't be overly, you know, of course it depends on what you're interviewing for, but at least to present yourself for an interview, be presentable. Sometimes it requires that you look professional. Do look professional. Sometimes you can be a little casual depending on what but dress to fit the occasion. Don't do it overly and don't do it underly. Just fit the occasion, okay? The third thing that I want you to be aware of, be on time. Listen, if I schedule you for an interview at 2 and you get here at 2 and I'm still interviewing somebody, it's not my problem. I can be interviewing somebody till 2:30, then I'll call you next, and then you can come in at 2:30. I am late, 30 minutes late. I may apologize for the lateness, but I won't hold it against you. But if you come in 2 minutes late, I'll hold it against you. I said, this guy is not serious. If the person really needs the job, how are you going to an interview and you're going late? Very, 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 very bad impression. For those of us who are never on time, don't do that for an interview for a job you want. Be on time. And be on time doesn't mean when they say be there at 2, you're there at 2. No. By the latest, 1:45, you are there. And you're seated. Then you can relax a little bit, see the environment, and then just take it easy for interview, okay? So be on time. Very, very critical. The next thing, be prepared. What do I mean by be prepared? Go there By all means, have a copy of your CVs just in case they don't have it. These days, it's becoming more and more digital. Somebody may be sitting there with their computer. So make sure you have a USB, a pen drive that has your CV in case, you know, anything. Just be prepared, okay? It's very, very important too that you have a pen, a notepad, something that you can write notes on as they're interviewing you. It's very, very professional that you're listening to job requirements or whatever they're telling you. Write down a few things, not overly writing notes throughout, but just a few important things that they say. You may have to write it down. The next thing, when you go to an interview, please show enthusiasm. What do I mean by showing enthusiasm? Be bubbly, be excited, be ready. Okay? Don't go and sit there like, you know, like there's no spine in you. That is one of the worst things. You have disqualified yourself even before the interview starts. Sometimes even the way you enter the room, they've made their judgment on you. You know? So walking with confidence, sit down and greet them. Ask them if you can take a seat and show enthusiasm. Okay? And here's the thing. Sometimes there's one person interviewing you, sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes the whole panel. Now, here's what I advise. Whether it's one person, 2, 3, 4, a whole panel, it doesn't matter. You just go in there like you're talking to one person. Not only are you talking to one person, you are there to charm that one person. How do you charm them? Knowledge display. Exude confidence. Be relaxed. And charm them. Okay? Be very careful. Sometimes in the interview situation, they trick you. They can confuse you deliberately. They're just monitoring you. They want to see how you think on your feet. They want to see how you react to things. It's all part of the interview. So once you enter, just know that the interview has begun. Sometimes I advise people, if you're going for an interview at, let's say, Unilever, once you enter the premises of Unilever, outside, you go through the gate, the interview has started. Just have that frame of mind. Be very careful. Let the charm start right from there. Even to the driver you met at the gate. The interview has started. Okay? So you go into the room, whether they are 1, 2, 4, 5, it doesn't matter. You're there to charm them. They will try and confuse you, but it will only work if you go off your target. When you stick to what you're saying. Okay? There's been an interview situation where they throw questions. This one will ask, so what do you think about this? As you're answering, another one comes up. As you're even answering that one, a third person may also come up and throw something at you. Just watching you. And sometimes you get confused and you're like, oh, you're bumbling all over. Forget it. You didn't get the job. Take control of the situation. That's what they're looking for. Okay? So one person is asking you this, another person has come up with this. Let's be polite. Oh, excuse me, sir or madam. Oh, please, I'll be right with you. I just want to finish with, you know, hopefully you know the name. I want to finish with so-and-so. Oh, and then you go back to them. And I said, oh, please, what were you saying? That's all. They've seen how you took control of the situation and called order. It's all part of the interview. They will throw things at you that will jolt you, but stay calm. Okay? So your whole objective of the interview is that you know what you're going to talk about. If you don't know, why did you get there? It means somebody wrote your CV for you because they were impressed with your CV. That's why they invited you there. So if it's actually you that wrote that stuff and you get in there, then you have a duty of impressing them. There are some people who are just bad interviewers, period. They are very, very knowledgeable. They are very, very sharp. And when you give the job to them, they can deliver. But guess what? They can't interview. So they'll get into the interview situation and they get all, and then they lose the job. And somebody else will come in who doesn't know as much, but they know how to control themselves and throw things around and impress people. And they give them the job. 3 months later, you're wondering why they got the job. It's because they impressed you. You know. So please, this is very, very important to know this. Otherwise, you'll be throwing opportunities away if you do not know how to take control in an interview situation. Okay? So that's it. What I want to tell you for the interview situation is going there with the intention that I'm going to charm them. Listen, You may enter the room and the person talking to you is sitting down there, very stern. No smile. Okay, so tell me about yourself. The mistake you can make is that you see them that serious and that stern, you think you also now have to be a little serious and then a little bit stern, and then bam, they've thrown you off your game. Even in that condition, when they are stern, they have the stern face, still be your relaxed self. When they tell me about this, oh, thank you very much for the opportunity, sir or madam, blah, blah, blah. Then you start talking calmly. Don't let the attitude change your attitude. Your attitude is to charm them, be calm, be relaxed, and don't react to your attitude. Okay? Very, very important. On the other hand, you may meet somebody who is very, very free. They may joke and let you laugh and very, very relaxed. And in Ghana, they will say you may lose guard, which means you may even forget that you're at an interview. And then you also start joking, oh yeah, me too the other day, you know, and you start cracking jokes and, you know, they're looking like, this guy cannot be serious. So whether they are stern or they are joking, or whatever, you stay calm, you stay focused, and make sure that you are on point. And don't let their attitude change the attitude that you have. You have an attitude of somebody who is there to charm them, who's there to take control of the situation, and somebody who's knowledgeable about why they are there. Okay? The other thing I want to say, it is not a crime to ask questions at an interview. Please. As they're talking, you take the notes. Even if you're not taking notes, pretend that you are jotting down things. It looks professional. Okay? And when they're done with the interview and they've done everything, and they may even ask you, do you have any questions? If they don't, you can yourself initiate it. Oh, sir or madam, or if you know their name, oh, Mr. Mensah or Mrs. Sribo, can I ask a quick question? You know, and then some question that, if I should get the position, when do you estimate the start time will be? You're just asking a question, just to know you're listening and you also are interactive. That's all you're trying to show, you know. But of course, that's not the time to go and ask about how many vacations will I get. You know, do you serve free lunch here? You know, no. You're asking something that will show you as somebody who's eager to work. What would the start time be? Okay, you know, how late you working hours are. Things like that are related to the job. Okay, so by all means, ask questions. Thank them very much after the interview for giving you the chance to interview, and tell them that if it's okay with them, you follow up with a call or something to that effect. Okay? The important thing, keep that word ingrained in your mind for the interview, charm. Charm. And the very important thing about company knowledge is so important. You know, the world has changed, the job market has changed, okay? For example, if you're going to interview at Joy FM, maybe you have 2 interviews that day. You have one at Joy FM or one at EIB Network. You have to display knowledge of the 2 stations independently, so that they know that you just don't know about any radio station, but you know about the stations that are interviewing you. That's what I'm talking about. Company knowledge, very, very significant. And don't forget to ask for an interview. Okay, in our next round, we'll look at some of the sample questions that you'll be asked at interviews, and the most asked frequently, and how you go about answering them in our next episode.